It is Saturday and I'm about to head out for my long run of the week. Going to be going over to Whitehawk, which is just east of Brighton, and going to be doing East Brighton Parkrun, and then I'll be carrying on. So hopefully a seamless transition from Parkrun to then running along the coast from East Brighton to Newhaven. So probably about 2 hours in total. And on the run, I'll be breaking down my training plan for the Hurtwood 50k, which is now just under 4 weeks away. So that was East Brighton Parkrun, and now we're just heading towards Newhaven. Gonna go along the coast. It's a really nice parkrun, East Brighton. Haven't been there before, but it was all on grass. It was, a bit up and down, so there's a few little hills in there. But yeah, very good. Much quieter than the parkruns I'm used to, so there wasn't as many people there. But nice, definitely going to go back to it. So at this point in the video, I was talking about my training plan for the Hurtwood 50k, but the wind was really strong and unfortunately the audio quality was pretty terrible. So I thought instead of putting you through that, I'd re-record the details of the training plan back at home after the run. So that will pop up next. If you want to navigate to the rest of Saturday's run and not listen to the training plan stuff, then I'll put timestamps below so you can skip ahead. So here's my training plan for the Hurtwood 50k, which is in just over 4 weeks' time. And I'll put up on the screen the breakdown of what I'm going to be doing. 6 weeks in total. I took 2 weeks off from running after the Downzinc Ultra. So that first week up on the screen, that was a lead-in week, just kind of getting my body used to running again. The second week, which is this week, which I've just completed, is 4 runs in total. So I did on Monday a half-hour relatively gentle run, and then following that I did a speed session which was a little bit more grueling. In the speed sessions I'm not going all out, not 100%, about 80%, and I'm aiming just to do every mile once I've done my mile warm-up under 7 minutes per mile, so about 6:50 something usually. So that's my speed sessions. And then the third session I did this week was an hour with including some hills. And then the final run, which I've just done today, was the 2 hour longer run, again with hills in. So I'm not doing any hill repeats in there. I'm just making sure that I'm incorporating hills into my longer runs, my 1 hour or hour and a half or 2 hour runs. So that's my really main idea for the plan, just to ensure that I've got usually 4 runs a week, a mixture in there, speed session, a flatter, shorter run, and then 2 longer runs over trails that are hilly. So that's the plan. Aside from that, I'm also going to have in, as I always do, my physio exercises, which I've been doing religiously for the last couple of years, ever since I injured my ankle, just helping with strength and balance, those kinds of things. Developing tendon and ligament strength as well. And then I'm also going to have every week strength and conditioning, which are a set of exercises which I just do for about 20 minutes. They elevate the heart rate a little bit more, so things like press-ups, sit-ups, core work, jumping jacks, those kinds of things. So just making sure that I'm getting good variety really in my training plan. It's mainly time on feet, so it's mainly just having a set amount of time that I'm going to be out running for. However, as you can see in the training plan, there are a couple of instances where I've got mile goals. So that's the case for the race next week, which is a 14-mile race, the YHA South Downs run, which I'm going to be doing. So that's 14 miles. And then the other one in there, the 20-mile run on week 4, That's because I want to just make sure that I've done roughly 2/3 of the distance of the ultra, and that'll give me some confidence, hopefully, going into the race, knowing that I can do the 20 miles over the similar kind of terrain with hills and with trails. So that's going to be set for week 4. So a couple of comments I wanted to pick up on from last week. I'll post a comment up here. So this came from Gareth. A couple of really good points there. Just firstly about what I favour in terms of my training. So a kind of mileage principle or time on feet principle. And the other thing just about the differences between training in the spring, summer versus the autumn, winter, the physical and the mental challenges. So for the first thing, the time on feet part, versus mileage, as you can probably gather from the name of my channel, I do tend to favour, for long distances in particular, a time on feet principle. So just going out there, getting your legs used to being out on the trails for 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever it is. However, having said that, for shorter distances, 5k, 10k, half marathon, and partially for marathon training, I focus more on mileage and pace for a particular mileage too. But when I was thinking about getting into long distance running early this year, and as I got more used to it, the thing that I realised that fires me, that I really enjoy, is just going out there for a set period of time and getting your body used to experiencing that. Being out there for 3, 4, 5, however many hours it is. So that tends to be the thing that I favour, and part of the reason for that is because if you're out there getting time on feet, you're having to watch the watch less. It's less about having to look down and see what my watch is saying about my pace or my mileage or anything like that. It's just getting out there, and you can enjoy the surroundings more, I find, rather than having to be watching your watch and look at it tick over for the pace or the miles. So yeah, it's really that I guess motivates my running, and I focus more on time on feet for long distance. So the other question that Gareth posted up there was just about training. So autumn, winter versus spring, summer. And I would say overall, I'm much more of a winter, autumn runner. I like the cold. I've got quite a high body temperature naturally, so I find it difficult to run in the heat, particularly in the middle of summer. So yeah, I like the cold. I like the kind of crispness. Having said that, the run I did earlier this week, the speed session, my lungs were finding it tricky to heat up the air. But ideal temperature is probably around 8 or 9 degrees to run it, maybe 10 degrees. That's probably the kind of temperature I'd like to go out in, if I could choose. So yeah, that's the thing I would say. I guess the most difficult thing for winter running is the darkness for me. Getting motivated in the dark. I don't have a head torch at the moment, so I don't do head torch runs. But yeah, that's the challenge, and also the practical difficulty of finding time to get out there in the light. If you're trying to do runs in the light, then working that around your working pattern is quite difficult. I'm lucky though, because I start later on a Thursday. So, Thursday this week I was able to get in a longer, a mid-length run before work. So that is possible. But yeah, it's the logistics of it, I think, that I find most difficult. So I am actually wearing running trousers for the first time ever. I've only ever worn shorts previously. But the other day I felt my knees getting a little bit cold. I'm generally quite warm, but the other day I could just feel the cold getting to my knees a bit when it was about 4 or 5 degrees. But I've worn them today, and actually probably getting a bit too hot towards the end of today's run. Now an hour and 40 minutes in, but they're so comfortable. So got them from Decathlon, basic kind of Kalenji range, but very comfortable. So I'll be using these probably for the Hurtwood 50k and for other runs that are a little bit more chilly, if I'm going to be out for quite some hours when it's very, very cold. But yeah, liking them overall. So we're almost done with today's run. I'll pop up how we did today on the screen so you can see the breakdown. Thanks very much for tuning in. Thanks for everyone who's liked, commented, subscribed. Really much appreciated. And see you next week.